Folks, hey, it's Kurt. We're talking about solar power in Tucson, Arizona. Okay, so I'm not going to just read the email from top to bottom. You guys can read, but let's talk about kind of what's in the email. So if you guys didn't know, I do daily emails, and you can subscribe over at Tucson Solar Insider.com. Okay, so I got a question, and the question was something around the lines of what about the resale value of a home with solar on it? And I've got an awful lot of thoughts on that. I've asked some real estate agents, and they provided some pretty insightful things about it. But here's my take on it. And again, I'm not a real estate professional. I'm not, although I'll hold my own with most people with a study in the real estate market. But that said, here's the thing. There's some parallels, I think, to whether or not a property has a pool or not. Now, there's certain kinds of people that want a pool, and there's certain kinds of people that don't want a pool. And the people that don't want a pool are pretty likely, I think, to just not look for homes with pools. So there's a sector of the buyer's pool, the pool of available buyers in Tucson that are looking for homes. If a house has a pool, that there's that sector of that pool of buyers, not a play on words, just the same word, different meaning, that just will never look at that. So the pool property, the property that has a pool, a swimming pool, will be closed off to a certain sector of the buyer's group. On the flip side of that, somebody who wants a pool might be willing to look at properties that have no pool and then be willing to install a pool later or forego a pool completely. So they are kind of like both ways, right? For the people who want pools and the people who don't want pools will look at properties without pools. Does that make sense? So there's a group of people that want nothing to do with solar because they've heard nothing but horror stories, particularly about the leases, particularly about the power purchase agreements. And it's just a big black cloud that's over their head, in their mind, about solar, and they just absolutely don't want anything to do with solar. You might be able to get into that group. But if you have a solar system on your house that requires a lease, in other words, it's not an owned solar system. It's a system where the prospective buyer has to sign paperwork, get, approved to basically take over the agreement or to take over the lease. That is, to me, a pretty big hurdle to have to jump over. And when folks get angry, that vein starts throbbing on their forehead. If you want to see a real estate agent's throbbing forehead vein, tell them you've got a home with solar leased or solar PPA. And you'll see that start going, right? You don't need to look much further than that. So if you're looking at doing solar, you really need to make sure that you understand how you're going to finance that so that when you sell the home, how that transfers to the new owner. In some cases, you're going to take the system off and take it with you. In some cases, you'll leave the system on the house. Either way, it's going to either be a hurdle in getting the new owners to buy it or sign into the lease or sign into the PPA, or it's going to be a cost to get the system removed and to restore the roof. So, okay. Does it increase the value or decrease the value? Yeah. If it's completely owned and it's all wrapped into the one purchase price of the home, hey, I'm offering X amount and that's what we're going to pay, and they get a solar system with it that then reduces their solar bills, then yeah, it probably does. Guys, read the email. I'll see you over at Tucson Solar Insider. Subscribe. Talk to you later. Goodbye.